Shalawam, shalawam. All right. First and foremost, I want to face the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakwadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah equals He is, He exists. That's the Father's name. Yahawashi equals He saves, He delivers. That's the Son's name. And Kakwadash equals a spirit that's holy, a spirit that's set apart. Second of all, giving double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. Let's jump straight into this one. This lesson is going to be entitled Complacency Destroys You. All right, and complacency, let's first get that definition. Complacency is a feeling of calm, self-satisfied contentment with one's abilities, situation, or the status quo, often accompanied by an unawareness of potential dangers or a lack of desire to improve. Right? It implies a passive, smug attitude that prevents taking further action or addressing shortcomings. So, complacent individuals, they feel like they've done enough. You know, you learned enough. You got to the point where, you know enough to make it. You know enough to get in or whatever. All right. You have a lot of individuals that get to that, and then they turn around and they try to bash others or belittle or do whatever, because they feel like they're on a certain level. Failing to remember that this thing is a continuous growth, man. Okay? Yeah, you may be on another level higher than your cousin or your sister or your brother or your mother or whatever, but you're still on a level of growing as well. We're always on a level of progressing and getting better. That's why the scriptures tells you have to what? Strive for the masteries. So if you're striving for the masteries, that's ongoing. Yeah, you may master one thing, but you master something else, man. Okay? This thing does not stop. This thing is an ongoing battle. This is 2 Timothy 2:1. Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahawashi. We have a grace period, all right? A time to get right, and you still going to mess up. You still sin, all right? You still are in what? Sinful flesh. Your righteousness is as filthy rags. These are key things to remember that should keep you from getting complacent. Verse 2, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Right? So your job is ongoing to teach others, to help others, to grow. And as you teach, you learn yourself. That's a benefit of teaching and helping. You're understanding yourself. You're finding yourself by doing what you're supposed to do, because you're going to find flaws and problems in yourself. Others is going to bring it out to you. You know what I'm saying? Knowingly or unknowingly. So it's important to continue to progress. Every day, take one step forward. What is complacency? If you're not taking a step forward, you're just standing still. Right? Thou therefore, verse 3, endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi HaMashiach. So what is this? This is an ongoing battle. So you got to endure the hardness. Those that endure until the end shall be saved. So that's letting you know that this is a continuous battle into an end. What is that end? The end of this kingdom. This wicked kingdom. Right? Once we go into those everlasting bodies, that will be the end. If we make it. Yahawah. So you got to endure up until that point. Right? You got to go through trials and tribulations all the way up until that point. So until we hit that finish line, we going to feel them lungs hitting, man. We going to feel that heart beating. We going to feel the pain and all of that. Now, endure is synonymous with stamina. So you got to have your stamina up, your spiritual stamina, your mental, right? all, you got to be ready. You got to have the warfare items on, the breastplate, the shield, the sword, the helmet, so you can undergo the trials that are coming forward. If you got all that on, then you're going to what? You're going to Sirach, the 2nd chapter. Let's go over there. This is Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, prepare thy soul for temptation. How do you prepare? By following the instructions that he laid out before you. Okay? Putting on this armor. You know you got to come to serve him. And with him, it ain't no BS. He's going to put you through a lot of trials. It's a lot of fighting. Okay? You serving him, what's going to happen? He going to send demons at you. And they going to be disguised. And many different people and things, items, situations. Right? So he about to come at you with everything he got. He got to make sure you a good servant. You have to be proved. You think you going to allow somebody to be a bodyguard or guard you and you haven't proved them? They haven't. What's their resume? Let me see their resume, man. Where your resume at? All right? So you got to show yourself. So that's why when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. He's got to prove a friend. Set thy heart all right and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble. So you're preparing by coming with the certain standard, the laws, commandments, and statutes that he set up for you. He's letting you know this is what you need to do. You need to put on this type of gear, Ephesians the 6th chapter, And then you also need to set your mind all right. That's girding up your loins like a man. Right? So you're getting your mindset right. This is really more mental, Yeah, you're going to go through stuff, et cetera, ailments and ailments. But if you don't got the mental capacity to get through it, you're going to bow down and take the chip because you didn't have the mental fortitude to get through. So set thy heart all right and constantly endure and make not haste in a time of trouble. You can have the biggest Jake on the block, but somebody pull up with a pew and this Jake running away. He like, man, they got a gun, man. But you standing because you trusting Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to get you through this situation. That's why we talking about these big buff dudes that go to the gym every day. They gonna be crying and moaning in Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? They gonna be crying and moaning. Have you ever been to war? Have you ever been in the military? Have you ever been, on a deployment? They gonna cry just because they thousands of miles away from their family, just off the rip. All right? I'm telling you from experience, it's a spirit of depression that jumps upon you when you out here and this could possibly be your last day. Right? So they ain't never felt that. So you can't say, well, I'm ready for the draft. I'm ready. No, bruh. You never really been through that stuff. All right? So once again, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is going to sustain and get us through these situations because we ain't never been through this. Jacob's trouble is the utmost time of terror, the heightened, the beyond whatever you heard of. All right? So you can't simulate it. You could watch Mad Max, you could watch The Book of Eli, you could watch Walking Dead, you could watch all that, but that still don't compare to what Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is about to bring. Yahawah is what? The king of terrors. So whatever they painted on these horror movies, it doesn't compare. He's the king of horror. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Right? So by cleaving unto him, just picture yourself holding on to the coattail of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Right? That's it. You're cleaving unto him. Right? To get through. And then you hold on long enough, you make it through the trials, the tribulations, the storms, etc., you're going to be increased at thy last end. You're not being complacent in these moments and staying in one situation and saying, "Oh, this is it. I don't got to get better than this." Or you get in this video I'm gonna play. It's a really good video. He talks about you become a black belt in one martial arts. Okay, become a student in something else. You know, you mastered this precept. You mastered this. You got the history on this. Well, learn something else. Go over here. Learn this. Learn that. Learn this. Learn this. You're supposed to be having a fervent love of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You know, don't get repetitive. Life is about diversity, man, in everything, right? When you talking about food, talking about studying, talking about growing, you want to diversify, all right? So if you master the straight punch, then you want to come in and try to get the uppercut going. You gotta keep going and keep building upon your stats, right? It's like an RPG, man. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. You know? So take it cheerfully. Now, once again, if you got that armor and you put it on, you prepare thyself, then you're going to take it cheerfully. It's still going to suck. You're still going to feel pain with the armor on. You still going to feel the pain, but you're not going to get destroyed like a 2/3 that didn't have the armor on. He ran out there without armor and he got sliced up. You ran out there and you got hit with a sword, but it didn't go through. It just knocked you back because you had Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. That's the difference. We all got to go through a certain type of fire. It's just that our fire is spiritual. Their fire is literal. Yeah. So, hey, I'm going to play a little bit of this. Fair use, fair use. I was planning on doing this video on YouTube just because, but I don't know how TikTok is with the videos, but, you know, we're going to try it. Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, to everybody up in here. Hey, Shalawam.
For the people in this life, how helpful are you? How much?
1 second. Let me put it on the speakers.
Are you using your, let's call it, elevated abilities to actually try and contribute to the bettering of our society? It's nothing that has only to do with your skills. It is your attitude towards life. We need a graduation system. We need systems in the field of martial arts to motivate people to continue their path. That's why you have no belt, then you make your first exam and you get the white belt.
Yeah.
And afterwards, sometimes you have the white-yellow belt, afterwards yellow, and then you move on orange, so whatever grading system there is.
Yes.
And ultimately, you have the black belt mostly, which is then being rewarded as now you are a master.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But what sounds like the end of the way, it is literally just that, Jesse, you have spent the last 14 years showing that you can stay committed, dedicated, loyal to your training. That's why right now, as a symbol of your achievement, you are being graduated the master's level.
Yeah.
So, does it mean right now that something has ended? No, it's just like I said it. You showed there is something you can really commit to 14 years long. And now comes the greatest mastery. Now continue this attitude and expand it to all other areas that are still lying ahead of you.
Exactly. You know, I've been studying Kung Fu lately, a lot lately. And Kung Fu just simply means to master something. Okay? You could be Kung Fu at anything. You know, you could practice Kung Fu in the kitchen. You master cooking and making a salad, man. You know what I'm saying? So you want to practice Kung Fu in everything. You want to do everything to the best of your ability, right? And if you keep that standard applied, bro, you're going to make it, bro. You know, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi is going to see that most likely. If you can do that, then you're most likely of the elect. Okay, because we are what? The elect is the best of their kind. Yahawah Ratchazat, we be of that. So we're going to put our best foot forward in everything that we do, right? We're not going to slack off and get complacent, because what's the title of the lesson? Complacency destroys you. We're not going to be lazy in something just because. Playing basketball, right? You see individuals, they good on offense, but then on defense, they don't run down the court. They don't play defense. They're complacent. They're not giving their all. I hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, but you got an individual, he doing his best on both sides of the court, right? So don't be that individual that is, James Harden, LeBron, we could name them, stars, because they got complacent in that star power. They got complacent in that title. You understand? So you don't ever let what people, they praise you or they knock you down. Don't let that change you. You take it all into consideration, and you even take scoffers and mockers into consideration. Look how King David did Shamiel. I've been using that example a lot, right? He identified that Yahawah set him up to throw rocks at him, to rebuke him, to come at him, right? So let's go to Jeremiah 3. And I'll start at 14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahawah, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. All right. So you're becoming a teacher, right? You gotta continue after Yahawah's heart. You gotta continue and stay in that. He's what? He's long suffering. So this means that you're gonna teach as long as you're not gonna fall out and be like, man, these niggas ain't getting it. I'm just gonna disappear. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just going to stop doing lessons, like some GOCC or something. Individuals that come out of nowhere, or you do a lesson every month, just once a month. Nah, man. Is that how Yahawah does for us? Does he bless us once a month? Or is he with us every single day? He wakes us up every single day. He deals with us every single day. No. Okay, I'm going to feed you when I get done. Go ahead. Okay. I thought I locked this door. All right, slacky. So, you can't just show up when you want to show up. You got to do the hard things, and that right there builds character. It builds your morals. It builds integrity. And it puts you in that habitation of, I'm going to do the hard things and the uncomfortable things, right? Get used to being uncomfortable. So when you're in these Jacob's trouble is ultimately the most uncomfortable position we ever going to be in. But we got Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, so he's going to get us through it, right? So be that pastor that's after his heart, that's teaching according to his heart, that's teaching correctly and properly. Let's take it from there. Let's go to Isaiah 30. And 20, let's start at 18. And therefore will Yahawah wait, that he may be gracious unto you, and therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. We wait, we deal, we have compassion and mercy with individuals, right? Oh, you may not get it today, he may get it next week, he may get it next month, he may come back. He may scoff and mock, but then he may come back and be like, man, I researched, I studied. Yeah, you're right. We want that to happen. Whichever way you got to do to get to the destination, it's all good. It's all forgiven. We not holding grudges. We broke down 2 Corinthians 6, yesterday. Like, we ain't sitting here holding grudges on individuals that don't get it. All right? We going to deal and we going to love a brother at the end of the day if he comes back and shows himself to be a brother. Right? So this is what the Father is showing us. And this is what Yahawashi also showed us. that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahawah is a power of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. Thou shalt weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer thee. Now, what did we just read in Jeremiah 3? We letting you know that those pastors, according to his heart, will what? Will lead you to Zion. So the Most High has set up messengers, those to help you and guide you upon the way to get you there. And are those individuals complacent? Are they staying in one space? Are they stuck? No. I ain't been on here in a long time, but I know you got these individuals most likely still teaching just the same 4 doctrines, the same 4 topics. All right, just they don't expand into nothing else. That's not according to the what is life about? Diversity. Do we touch on everything, or we just touch on 4 basic topics, man? It's showing if the Holy Spirit is really dealing with you or not. All right. So you learn and you grow and you find out what your weaknesses are and you build upon those weaknesses. You already strong on your strengths. Take it back to basketball. You may be good at driving in. All right, work on your jump shot. Work on your mid-range. Work on your 3. Work on passing. Work on other things. Don't just forever be relying upon you driving in. You know? So you got to build up your flaws and your weaknesses. That comes into you examining yourself and checking, yo, where am I messing up at? Where am I weak at? What could I improve? Right? So don't get complacent in that 3 bag that you got. Don't get complacent in those dunks or whatever, you know? You want to be all around. All right? Keeping it going. Verse 19, for the people, once again, shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. Thou shalt weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer thee. That's taking me back to what? Ezekiel. Because these are the individuals that's going to get the Tawah, that's going to get the mark. Right? Ezekiel 9:4. And Yahawah said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set up the mark, upon the foreheads of the men. And this mark is what? Is spiritual. That sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have you pity. So who's the ones that's going to be saved? The ones that sigh and cry. All right? You're weeping and you're moaning for your husband to come back. You're crying out. You know? You're not complacent in Babylon. You're not sitting around here talking about, I'm good with the job and the money and the plantation, and I'm good with, you know, the WIC and the SNAP and the EBT, and I'm good with all. Really? So you good with slavery? That's something that you should just think about in your mind if you actually good with America. Okay? This is a fallen building, man. It's a burning house. So we're not good with this. We're ready to go. Verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. And why are these individuals getting slayed? Because they were complacent. They were good. They rejected Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. But come not near any man upon whom is the Tawah, and begin at my sanctuary. It starts at the house. It starts in our nation. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. So it begins with these men that are running around complacent, teaching the same old 4 doctrines or twisting scriptures and leading and destroying many individuals. All right, let's go back to that Isaiah 30 and then get back to the video because he about to hit some good points on here. Verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity, so he's putting us through that temptation as we read in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, right? He's given us that bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. So we're going to see our teachers. We're going to be able to approach them, be able to listen to them, be able to ask questions, all these type of things, right? They're there for us, you know. Breakdowns is there, you know. Hey, they done covered everything. The elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone have covered everything. So it's all there for us to learn. So it's no reason for us to be complacent. It's we should every single day progress further and further, man. You should take one step each day. Just at least just one step, you know? One step each day. You ain't got to take 5. You ain't got to take 3. You take that one step and you like a baby, because we like little children. And you make sure that you stable with that step. And then you take another step. And then you take another step. And then when you get, you know, you get your speed up, then you be running. You know what I'm saying? Make it plain upon table so those that read it can run. That's the point. So we making it easy for individuals to come and get it. So those that want to run to finish the race, they have the perfect opportunity to do so, man. So let's get back into this video.
Is martial art or not? Whether it is like we're new into family life, dedicate your energy, dedicate your attitude, dedicate your loyalty in making this family in the best possible way, just as much as we loved our martial art. Now it's time to express it in a different area. The master title is not the end, it's the beginning. It's all about self-mastery. Don't look for a master out there and lift him up on the pedestal and pray to him and treat him like a guru and think that he is something better than you.
Booyah. All right? That right there, that's a cut to these other camps, man. Because they worship Nathaniel. They worship Yahawah. They worship whoever their leaders is. They worship these individuals, man. All right? We don't do that. You know? We go to our teachers, we give double honors. Yeah, it's a certain level of honor and respect that's given. Okay? That's necessary. But we don't worship these men. Okay? We worship who? Yahawah, Yahawashi. And our elders don't get caught up in those titles. They're down-to-earth men, as they supposed to be, as the scripture states. Right? So, hey, some men get power and they can't handle the authority. They can't handle the power. They can't handle the title. Let's get that in Job. Okay? They was warned. This is Job 32:21. Let me not, I pray you, accept any man's person, neither let me give flattering titles unto men. For I know not to give flattering titles, or so doing, my maker would soon take me away. So have no respect unto persons, man. Once again, you got to prove every single individual. Just because somebody is called master, right? That right there automatically jumps into your mind like, oh, this brother a master. Oh, shit. He a master. Well, you got fake masters out here. You know, you got individuals that's telling you that MOTB is not the RFIDC hip. You know what I'm saying? You got, they really masters? You got them telling you can have sex on the Sabbath, man. Is he really a master? He may have the title, but is he really a master? Right? So when you start growing and studying and learning from somebody, you need to get that perfect, that solid foundation. You don't want to learn how to throw a punch the wrong way. Now you hitting somebody and you breaking your knuckles because you throwing it the wrong way. Because you learned it from an improper individual that calls himself a master. But he's nothing more than a student. And on top of that, we all students forever. That's why, what he say earlier, you got the black belt. Now become a student in something else. So you're forever a student. That right there is humbling yourself and keeping yourself low. Forever being a student, man.
If it motivates you for you to bring the best out of yourself, it's good so. But that is the essence. You use this lifetime that you have available and master yourself. Self-mastery. You need to become your own master. We all are masters. It's just sometimes that master is sleeping. That master is lazy. That master is upset. Yes, find a way to bring out the best master inside of yourself.
Some people may not believe that this is possible. Do you think the mastery of martial arts is for everyone?
You want to play tennis.
Okay.
I do think that the intensity of training for tennis and the intensity training for any martial art is quite different, because the martial art encompasses so many different layers and areas of the body, which also means you are facing way more struggles that are actually being represented also as the struggles of this life. I'm not sure if, let's say, painful experiences are a part of when you do tennis training. It can be exhausting, you have muscle ache, but is there pain involved? Is there the fact involved that there are just stretching exercises or even hardening exercises or even stamina training that it is just painful? Okay? Literally walking through the valley of pain. I think what is being developed here, character-wise, is different than a normal sport, let's say like this. This is why I think that the martial art training is suitable very much when it comes to character building.
How do you...
Booyah. And like he stated, it's a hard path. You know, and that's I'm bringing it parallel to this truth, because this is a hard walk. This is not for everybody. You understand? And it wasn't given to everybody. Faith is a gift in itself. So it's given to those that, you know, that need it, that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi chose before the foundation of the earth. So everybody's not going to be able to do this. Everybody's not going to be a kung fu master. Everybody's not going to be, you know, everybody's not a prophet. Everybody's not a bishop. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? So if you've been called, what does the scripture say? We beseech you, we summoned you, we called you, you know, and that's not us, but that's what Yahawah speaking through his men. He's beseeching you. He's calling you. And you feel that call. Everybody don't feel the call. You know? But if you feel the call, then you've been called into a certain standard, and it's like an invitation, man. It's a VIP. Everybody don't get that VIP. Right? I'm going to get one precept. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 12. Even so ye, for as much as ye are zealous of spiritual gifts, seek that you may excel to the edifying of the church. So you may have individuals out there they'll be able to heal. Individuals that they dream, man, this brother always got a dream, you know, or individuals, whatever, you know, good with the herbs, and that be their gifts. But what you need to really focus on, regardless of your gift, is make sure that you're edifying in whatever you do. All right. And that goes back to having kung fu in everything you do, doing it to the best of your ability, you know. So don't get caught up on what others have or whatever, because that leads to covetousness, that leads to jealousy, that leads to envy. So those are demons, those are gateways. All right. Be happy and be self-confident, man. Have some self-esteem in yourself. Look at yourself and be proud of yourself. Right? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi made you unique and special, and he put you through your set trials and tribulations that you got to go through. Everybody's life is unique, and that's the beautiful part of life. Once again, going back to diversity, the elect is diverse. We all look different colors, different shades, different heights, right? Extremely diverse, you know? But we all meeting up at that same destination. Yahawah, we be those men. You know what I'm saying? So don't get caught up on what another can do. Just make sure that you're focused on contributing your best to the body, right? Let's get let me see where we at. 10. I'm going to get about maybe 2 minutes more of this. All right. And then we're going to wrap it up.
The different stages of mastery. That first big step is to stay with one thing, first of all, for quite a long time.
To build a foundation.
To build the foundation. Yeah. That also means that you have also personally grown already in that period. Meaning, the possibilities that are now opening up for your life are also becoming more distractive. And amongst all the distraction, how important do you still keep that type of attitude that led you to mastery in the first place? How much can you keep that still inside your life? Next step is to find a harmony between all of this. To find a harmony and remind yourself about that time when you were really dedicated for one thing, but now knowing, okay, but there are now so many different distractions, possibilities for me. Yeah. Don't get lost in them. Catch yourself back, remind yourself there was something, a part of your life that always gave you a strong foundation and a stability. I don't say don't go to party. I just say go to party, and before that at least do training.
Yeah. And remember your training and why you started.
Yes.
So that goes into, you know, maintaining your spirit and controlling yourself in everything that's going to open up to you. The more you teach, the more people you're going to reach. So that means the more temptation that may come, man. You may have, it may be girls jumping in your deal. I like the way you broke that lesson down. You know, it's gonna be some strange ass shit. You know? Scoffers jumping in, cussing you out, right? You're going to have all this weird type of stuff happening because you're teaching more. So guess what? More demons are coming. That's the temptation. And then Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi is going to send more upon you. Right? So, hey, a perfect point you said, maintain that harmony. You got to remember what brought you here. All right? Because that's going to keep you here. All right? Man, the elder said that at the last camp. What brought you here is going to keep you here. Remember that, man. That fervent love, that fire. Let's get that in Jeremiah. You got to remember that fire in everything that you're going through. And don't let that burn out. And keep all these distractions at bay. Right? This is, let me see, I want to start up. Let's start at 24. Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him? Saith Yahawah, do not I fill heaven and earth? Saith Yahawah. So, you know, these individuals that's took in the bag, all right? They fell out. They took the bag. They got to a position of knowledge, and then they fell out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they took the bag. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say it, right? They acting like Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi did not see them take that, or he can't see them, or he can't find them. Like, their secrecy is not known. It's known, and he reveals it to many, you know? So, they lost that harmony. They lost that fervent love. They fell out of love. And that's showing that they wasn't truly caring about the love in the beginning. Ultimately, man, if you fall out of the truth, then was you really doing it correctly and properly in the beginning when you first came? Did you really care about that person? You can't say you love me and then 10 years later you don't love me. Did you ever love me? I'm about to begin to question that. You know what I'm saying? Verse 25, I have heard what the prophet said, that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. They're stuck in their own mind. They're stuck in their own ways. The bowels, you know, and we went into that yesterday, man. They stuck in their own bowels. O ye Corinthians, you're stuck in your bowels. You're stuck in your ways. You know, so you're caught up in your mind. The mind is a very deceitful thing. Who can know it? You're letting these thoughts, these presumptuous demons, and these ways jump up in your mind and tell you and pull you away from the truth. You got to rebuke. You got to rebuke your thoughts, right? Rebuke your thoughts, man. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. If Bishop Nathaniel had rebuked his thoughts, then he wouldn't be calling on Most High Christ blessed. He would have kept Yahawah and Yahawashi. He would have rebuked himself, rebuked his thoughts, and continued to teach the proper and correct names. But you see how he didn't, and now that's led so many men astray. So the position of a master is a very important position based upon what you're about to teach, because more people are going to listen to you because that title has been put upon you. So you got to make sure you're teaching properly and correctly, man. Right? And going back to these temptations and these demons that's coming and messing with you now. You are attracting more because you're doing more. So in a sense, yeah, your power is growing because Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is with you more. As we talked about them steps, remember? You taking one step, you taking two steps. Now you running. When you running, you got more energy. So Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is with you more because you proven yourself in those first couple of steps. But now you're running, but now you got distracted by something you saw. Now you're off the path and you stop. You lost that energy and you lost the fire. You lost Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You fell to a distraction. So like Bishop Nathaniel was running, teaching the names, teaching properly. He saw the bag. He stopped. He said, man, I'm going to take this bag, 5013C. I'm going to take this $1 million. I'm going to take this. He lost the energy. And now what? What did Yahawashi say? 7 demons jumped on him. He tried to come back. Them 7 demons is on him. He couldn't get them off. So now he's stuck. That, we seen many brothers fall out, man. All right. Verse 27. Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, saith Yahawah? Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rocks in pieces? All right, so keep that fire. These other distractions that you stopping for, they don't matter. I saw the brother posted 2 precepts. Let me get them. This is Matthew 6 and 19 through 21. And it reads, lay it not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Don't stop for that distraction on the side of the road. Don't stop for the 5013C. Keep going, keep trusting in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Going back to what he said about keeping that harmony that you had in the beginning. Don't let the master title distract you and you fall to everything that comes with the master title. You can watch any damn near any movie about our people where they was like stars and like James Brown or Michael Jackson or whatever. They all fell for a distraction. All right. Diddy, you know what I'm saying? We can't deny these individuals was talented at one point in time. Okay, Biggie, Tupac, but they fell for a distraction. So Esau is good at manipulating and taking that salt that Jake has on him and taking that salt and tainting it and corrupting it and bringing darkness, putting darkness into it. That's what Esau loves to do. Right? So the Jake that's going to make it is the ones that you kept your salt and you stayed away from these distractions as you grew in wisdom and you grew in understanding. You didn't let the affairs of the world, right, get to you. So lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. We put our affections up above. We're focused on the next life. We're not focused on this life. We here, but we not here. You know what I'm saying? We are here, but we are not here. And that right there is something you got to maintain. We just going through the motions of work. We just going through the motions, All right. Proverbs 24:12 in the NLT. Don't excuse yourself by saying, look, we didn't know. For Yahawah understands all hearts and he sees you. He who guards your soul knows you knew. Ooh, he will repay all people as their actions deserve. That's a mic drop right there, man. You know, that's cold. Okay? So don't say that you didn't know. He know you knew. Right? You can lie and tell yourself all these different type of things in your mind, going back to your mind, right? Being deceitful, but he know you knew. He sent that thought in your mind to see how you was going to handle it. You understand? He'll bring that person back in your life to see how you going to handle it. Are you over this sin yet? Or you want a couple more rounds with it? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, once again, you mastered something, but you gotta continue to master. It keeps going. Strive for the masteries. All right. Let's hit a little bit more, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
What would you say are the biggest misconceptions about this journey to mastery that you see with your students or others?
I do think it's delusion.
Delusion.
I do think it's delusion. The master title, most of the times, we give it to somebody because if there would be a group and I present you, okay, this is Master Jesse, automatically you have a type of authority, you have a type of respect, even though people don't know you. On the one side, it's good, it's intended to be like this. On the other side, it's also not good. Because if you don't have the skills and people portray you as a master, and people without knowing you give you the trust towards you, well, you can mess up a lot of people like this. You must be aware of yourself, of how you are using this type of power. And if your character is not built properly, you start building up to be the master, the overmaster. So
the grandmaster.
You start to like yourself in the role. You start to like the fact of people listening to you, people bowing to you. And what is it that you're doing? You're building something that I do think is not helpful along the way to that self-mastery expression I explained to you before. Because at some point, this self-mastery, mastering yourself, meaning having an understanding for the world, ultimately also means building up the people and the surrounding around you, regardless of you. The real masters at some point are simply invisible. They don't leave a trace. They just spread their seeds. And knowing everybody starts to grow around them. And they all will think ultimately they did it. But you just know at some point, yes, thanks to the contribution and the energy that you gave to them selflessly.
Because you're a master, a true master.
Let's call it, this is at least that ideal, that vision that I have when it comes to that word mastery. So it is the opposite of building a strong personality and portraying yourself on the stage of now the master comes.
Well, is it possible to balance them both? Because some people like you are known for being a Shaolin master, but you also have this humility, and somehow it seems like you found a good balance.
I do think in order to figure out how to balance something out, it means in the first place you realize those two sides are existing.
Booyah. All right, well, I'm going to end it right there. I'm going to hit one precept and we're going to talk on it. This is Isaiah 64:6. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags, and we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us away. Right? So understanding and keeping yourself down to earth, humble in every situation, regardless of the master position or not, regardless what you're called or not, right? And that's one perfect point that he said was you fall into that master position and you begin to like it. You begin to like people listening to you and liking all this and all of that. It's more so you getting caught up in the carnal aspect of the fame of it, the status of it. And that's what America is famous for, the vanity of these situations. The only reason we preaching is because we went off. All right? We This ain't. I don't desire to go out in the damn 90-degree weather and preach, man. I don't desire to go out when it's 40 degrees and preach. You know what I'm saying? This is called the foolishness of preaching. Okay? Hey, we ready to go. Okay? This part of the ministry, we ready to be over. You know what I'm saying? But so don't get caught up like in those positions. And that's a form of being high-minded. Right? Where you up there just to belittle people or knock people down because you have a little bit more knowledge than another individual. No. That's not humble. All right? So be going back to the point of being a teacher, you're learning more about yourself and you're growing. We're growing together. You know? And that's a beautiful point, that we're all growing together and learning ourselves as we express, we push it out. This is food. So I'm giving you some food, you know? You teaching, you giving me some food. That's it. We all learning from one another. We nourishing one another. The scripture says exhort daily. So we helping to build each other up, you know? And that's it right there. So hey, with that being said, just stay down to earth, stay humble. Remember, honor comes after humility. Humility comes before honor. So stay humble, stay meek, and do what you're supposed to do, and you most likely gonna make it, man. You know, trust in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and that's it. All right? Keep the faith and keep the works, right? Do the works. So, hey, with that being said, the water for all the precepts and support on the board. Facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and the Son. Once again, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. And double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone, as always. Shalawam, Shalawam, Kwam Yasharahla, and Abad Babar. All right. Most likely we will do a round table tonight. The brothers, you know, want to do it around 7 p.m. Pacific. I think that's 10 p.m. Eastern. All right. Shalawam, Shalawam.